Hello, is it the DM's book club you're looking for? Because I think it really is. Because we're talking bards today. Oh, hello.
Hello, and welcome to the DM's book club. Yes, we are back for part 2 of Bards. My name is Fiona, and with me, as always, is my own bard.
It's Lionel Richie.
It's Lionel Richie. Welcome, Lionel. So glad you could be here. But standing behind Lionel
Can you
is,
get
of
off
course...
the ceiling, mate? Just a minute.
Actually, could you get that cobweb? That's fantastic. But standing behind Lionel is, of course, Hamilton. How are you doing, Hamilton?
I'm all right. He's off. He's gone now.
Oh, God. Imagine all the royalties we have to pay.
I know.
But yes, we are back for round 2.
Bards round 2, yeah. Battle of the Bands.
We were obviously last week, we went through all the different class features from the basic vanilla bard, as we say. And now we're going to look at all the colleges, which is the subclasses that we can get.
Now, what order do we want to do these in?
I think, should we just do it? We should do the Player's Handbook ones first, because those are the ones that were available for a long time. Okay. And then I think maybe Xanathar's, then Tasha's, Van Richten, and then Tal'Dor's the most recent.
Which order those are.
I've written it all down.
Look at you.
I know, look at that. Ooh, no one can see it, but I have my notion all up.
Also, I can tell you that Fiona is not a psychopath because she has everything with a black background and white text.
Oh, God.
Anyone who doesn't have dark mode, psychopath.
Notion keeps logging me out every so often, and it's like, oh, do you want it normal? I was like, no, dark mode, like my soul.
Mode. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Bard colleges is described as the way bards seek other bards to swap songs and stories and boast about their accomplishments and share knowledge. They form loose associations, which they call colleges, to facilitate their gatherings and preserve their traditions. Although you could absolutely treat it, as we said last week, as an actual sort of form of training, whether it be like one bardic mentor or going to an actual school. Yeah. I mean,
like a conservatoire,
or even like, you can even go down to like School of Rock levels, that would be awesome.
So we were in this class and then a weird guy turned up as a substitute teacher and made us join a Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty much like a D&D adventure.
And as we said before, and we'll keep saying again, you don't have to be musical to be a bard. You could be someone that is more about public speaking. I actually was thinking on when I was rereading this for today's episode, I was thinking actually a bard could easily be a stand-up comedian, and you just got to come up with as many terrible one-liner jokes as possible, and see. And if someone moans, you're like, yeah, psychic damage.
I thought you were going to say I was on the train and I thought train announcers could be bards, and I was like, you know what, that's a good one. And because I was thinking there was famously in London 10 years ago a singing train driver on the tube who used to sing. And there was also one that used to say lovely things like, we are now arriving at Lancaster Gate. Have a lovely day. and like, oh, be careful of the doors, everyone. Don't want to get bitten. Stuff like that. Weird little jokey things. And they used to record them. And there were some nice ones on there. Yeah.
So you could almost do your own Bill Bryson type character, like perhaps like writing and just being super lovely and just anything about travel. That's awesome. I really like that. Why don't we start off at the top? Let's go to College of Law, which is in the Player's Handbook. So bards of the College of Law know something about most things, collecting bits of knowledge from sources as diverse as academic tomes and peasant tales. Whether singing folk ballads in taverns or elaborate compositions in royal courts, these bards use their gift to hold audiences spellbound. I'm going to be honest about this one. It's fine. It's okay.
It's okay. It's a good intro, but it's not it's actually, I don't think, as law focused. Do you know what I mean?
There's no history proficiency.
I feel like you would employ some ideas here when you read that of like, okay, I'm going to employ the history of the place. I'm going to imbue magical abilities based on historical things. I don't know, like the might of Thor, or, you recant a tale that relates to, one of 6 different possible typologies. Each one of those tales then gives benefits to different things. I don't know, like advantage on skill checks or something because you've said this, or I don't know. That's
because we've had that before where it's like if you're proficient with history and history data checks to an area of expertise and you can be really specialized. That would make more sense. This doesn't. It just feels like, oh, we need a name for it. Law will do, if you see what I mean. Like level 3, you get bonus proficiency. So on top of already being very, very skilled, you gain 3 skills of your choice that you have proficiency in as well, which really helps with the main class. Don't get me wrong, it's just a bit dull.
Yeah, it is. And the only thing relates to it is that magical secrets maybe is a little bit like, oh, you've read a lot of books, so you'd get more information that way.
Yeah.
I think cutting words is great. And it is such a great skill because it's such a way to kill someone is using your cutting words. I think that's kind of funny, really.
Level 3, you learn how to use your wits to distract, confuse, and otherwise sap the confidence and competence of others. When a creature you see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or damage roll, you can use your reaction to spend one of your bardic inspirations. Roll that bardic inspiration die and subtract the number rolled from the creature's roll. You can choose this to do this after it makes the roll, sure. And the only thing is that it's just immune if it can't hear you or if it's immune to being charmed, which I think early on, not many of the monsters you'll be facing, hopefully, are immune to charm. And it's just a bit later on. So that's actually a really good one early on, just to be like, oh, you keep missing your attacks. You're not very good, are you? Or just shout, get good.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely insult sword fighting from Monkey Island. That's what it comes from.
Oh, so absolutely. I love it
because of that. As I said, additional magical secrets is you get 2 more spells of your choice from any class at 6th level. Must be a spell you can cast, and it doesn't count against the number of bar spells you know. So that's just an additional one to the others.
Yeah, I mean, that means you just have more knowledge, which, as you said, it's fine. But again, it's a bit like, so what? Like, it doesn't feel like, compared to, say, College of Valor, which I feel is the better of the two. I know we'll go on to that in a second, but it just feels a bit like, okay.
Yeah.
And then level 14, peerless skill. So we actually talked about this a little bit last week. So when you make an ability check, you can expend a use of your bardic inspiration. You can add it to your own. So basically you're inspiring yourself, but it's only for ability checks. And I just feel like you should be able to do it for saving throws, and you should be able to do it for attack rolls.
Yeah.
You can inspire any of your party for anything, but you can only be like, I've got this, rather than just like,
I really do feel D&D, I just more and more is really mean.
Yeah.
Just doesn't like dishing out much to people, which is kind of weird, really. I don't know.
You were saying it last episode, that I would just you can inspire yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that obviously if you did allow people to inspire themselves, this final feature doesn't, I would try and rewrite it perhaps if I was redo that whole subclass, to be honest with you, because it's fine, but it's just not, compared to the other 8 subclasses, I'd be like, oh, don't use that one. There's so many more interesting flavoursome ones there.
You're not gaining enough out of it. Definitely not.
All right, should we go on to the College of Valor then? So this is what I've written down in my notes: a damage.
It's combat college. That's what it is.
School of Hard Knocks.
It's stage combat fighting.
Oh, it is. Yeah. These bards are ones that have tales who keep alive the memory of great heroes of the past and thereby inspire a new generation of heroes. They gather in mead halls or around great bonfires to sing the deeds of the mighty, both past and present. They travel the land to witness grand events firsthand and to ensure that the memory of those events don't pass from the world. With their songs, they inspire others to reach the same heights of accomplishment as the heroes of old. Who would I use as an example of this would be like, I don't know if you probably have seen Red Dwarf, but like Ace Rimmer, the cool version of him is like, hey, what a guy, that sort of thing. What a cool person. And just be like,
I'm thinking Flashheart.
Oh, Flashheart as well, because he can back up everything he's got, even though he's a complete.
Exactly. He is the hero.
He is the hero, but everyone hates him. Oh, sorry, Blackadder hates him, but
everyone loves him. Blackadder hates him because he steals his wife. He steals his wife to be Bob.
Bob.
So
back to level 3. Yeah, bonus proficiencies again.
Yeah,
but this time it's only proficient with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons, which makes sense because obviously this is going to be a more combat-based subclass. Combat inspiration at level 3 as well. You learn to inspire others in battle. A creature that has a bardic inspiration die can roll that die and add that to the weapon damage roll it has just made. Alternatively, though, when an attack roll is made against the creature, it can use its reaction to do the bardic inspiration die and add that number rolled to its AC against that attack. So that the twofold ways of doing that, like either just piling on the damage or going, I don't think so. Love it. What a cool way of doing it. That it's not necessarily, it just adds more to, like, you could use it for your saving throw. You could use it to that, but then these just add up more and more and more stuff that you can do. I just really think that's cool.
It does make me think of what we were talking about with the anime stuff on the other day, where we were saying about, like, every time in Demon Slayer when they try and make an attack, it's like, remember past event, go back to past event, remember what they told me, I can't fail. That is what it is. Yeah, so you then make the attack, or you remember the breathing. And then it's like, puts the arm up, defend. Oh, AC is up. It's kind of very anime.
Yeah, and the enemy is like, what? No!
What? No!
Yeah, I think I would actually encourage that sort of role play happening, because obviously sometimes, I don't know how you are your DM stuff. Sometimes as a player, I'm just like, I'll just roll and this, that, and the other. But then I'll be like, I'm going to do my combat inspiration and I'm going to quickly monologue. And even if you don't hit, it's still in that anime version.
I can't wait for people to see the final of Bowie's, because we get the monologuing in the finale of Bowie's is everyone's having a monologue off. It's more of a monologue off than it is a battle. It's just like, it was good fun. But
I love that.
When you've that's when I think that's when combat's at its best, is when you're just monologuing everything.
Then you get level 6 is extra attack. Only one other subclass has an extra attack for the bards, so that's actually really good, because again,
College of Swords, right?
College of Swords, yeah, absolutely. Because again, it is more of a combat one. I always find it interesting because I kind of forget that bards aren't fully spellcasters and they're not really fully combat. They're in the middle, so that's why sometimes you're like, oh, can you do something? And you're like, I've just done a spell, guys.
Yeah.
I'm out for this round.
And you get to attack twice. You don't get to have 2 actions.
Absolutely. But it just means you're a bit more versatile. So like, even if you don't have as many spells for the matter, you can like, well, at least I can give a good hit rather than going,
good double hit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, double hit, exactly. Rather than just going, I've out of spell, my spell's done for this round, and I don't have good spells for this particular combat.
And I think if I'm right, 5th level's when you get second attack as a fighter, isn't that right?
Yes.
So 1 level higher than a fighter, but you've got all this additional stuff and you've also got an extra attack, which is really good.
Level 14 is battle magic for this one. You have mastered the art of weaving spell casting and weapon use into a single harmonious act. When you use your action to cast a bard spell, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
See, it's pretty cool, but I'd also say that's what you should get at 6th level.
Just be the badass bard at 6th level.
I know, but no one's getting to 14th these days anyways.
Well, I guess if you're playing the Planescape adventure.
Well, actually, it's exactly, you will do. Very excited for that.
Yeah.
That's Valor. What's next?
So we can go to Xanathar's next, because that was the next book. So this had 3 colleges out. We had Glamour, we had Swords, and then we also had Whispers.
Now, Glamour is Bowie.
Yeah.
The College of Glamour is the home of bards who master their craft in the vibrant realm of the Feywild or under the tutelage of someone who dwelt there. Tutored by satyrs, Eladrin, and other Fey, these bards learn to use their magic to delight and captivate others. They are regarded with a mixture of awe and fear. Performances are stuff of legend. Their bards are so eloquent that a speech or song that one of them performs can cause captors to release the bard unharmed and can lull a furious dragon into complacency. The same magic that allows them to quell beasts can also bend minds. Villainous bards of this college can leech off a community for weeks, misusing their magic to turn their host into thralls. Heroic bards of this college instead use his power to gladden the downtrodden and undermine oppressors.
Oh, I love it. I keep forgetting how well written Xanathar's classes are. Like, if you read the other ones, like Tasha's is fine, I'd say, and then and obviously Tal'Dorei, of course, will have like a really good in-depth description. But compared to what we've just read about Player's Handbook, instead I'm like, we can have villains that are bards, which I know sounds so silly, but I want to see. I'm the baddie, absolutely. So this is all sort of almost like Feywild inspired, which I think is really cool. This idea of glamour and just like disguise and all that sort of thing. So level 3, you get Mantle of Inspiration. You gain the ability to weave a song of Fey magic that imbues your allies and with vigor and speed. As a bonus action, you can expend one of your bardic inspirations to grant yourself a wondrous appearance, which again would be your Sailor Moon magical girl moment. When you do so, you choose a number of creatures you can see within 60 feet of you, equal to your charisma modifier. Each one of them gains 5 temporary hit points. When they gain temporary hit points, they can also immediately use their reaction to move at its speed without provoking opportunity attacks. And then this temporary hit points goes up at each level, all the way up to 14 when you get up to 15th level.
I love how it's like, they're so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And they go, healing. I'm healed by your majesty.
And now we must run away.
Run.
Get away from here. I like that idea. I like getting temporary hit points. I think the only thing is that the numbers are a little weird. I think that's the only thing I'd say.
Yeah, 8 at 5th level, 11th at 10 level, and 14 at 15th level. Like,
just give us like 5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah, exactly.
What's with the weird numbering system?
Just because they're wizards and they you know what, this is the problem, right? This is the problem. Wizards are sitting there in their basements going, we need to spend all this time balancing this really, really not balanceable game, and they do it and no one gives a shit. That's the problem.
Well, then they turn to Baldur's Gate 3, which is like, and the players are like, it's really cruel, this game. You're like, yes, the DMs are really helping you.
Yeah, exactly. You realize how much DM helps you when it's like, there's a box in your way, like you were saying, I got to use 5 feet to go around it.
So cross-making.
You know what I mean? As I said, I totally think they should implement my rule of cool system. You can use 5 rule of cools an hour or something like that, which means it's like your movement doubles. You just get away with it.
That's almost like a loot box, an unlock. You pay 20 quid to get a natural 20.
I was listening to the death of video games thing on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they were trying to chart when it started from. Loot boxes, big problem. Enthralling performance. Right, so this is the 3rd level one as well. You charge performance with seductive fey magic.
Ooh.
It just made me think of from Roger Rabbit, Rebecca Rabbit. What's her name? Rebecca Rabbit.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me now.
Roger Rabbit's
it's Roger Rabbit, and she's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit.
Rebecca Rabbit. That's her older sister.
I was just thinking that's the sort of very over the top seductive dance.
But that whole performance, is absolutely, it's incredible. Again, not to get off topic, if you watch the behind the scenes of how they put that all together, it's really interesting. The whole film is really interesting. But I can imagine, totally, just looking incredible and just doing an amazing performance. And
exactly.
Just capturing people's attention.
You perform this for 1 minute, which is not a long song, to be honest. Oh, there you go. You can attempt to inspire wonder in your audience by singing, reciting a poem, or dancing. At the end of the performance, choose a number of humanoids and 60 feet of you who watched and listened to all of it. So don't go for a wee. Up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your DC, or they'll be charmed by you. Whilst charmed, they idolize you.
Yes.
It speaks glowingly of you to anyone who talks to them, and it hinders anyone who opposes you, although it avoids violence unless it was already inclined to fight on your behalf. This effect ends on the target after 1 hour if it takes any damage, if you attack it, or if you witness you attacking or damage any of its allies. If the target succeeds the same throw, it has no hint that you tried to charm it.
Thank goodness. I just think what a weird person. They don't do anything of it.
In the middle of a battle. Da, 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 da. What are you doing?
This is why I was thinking about that stand-up comedy thing. So again, not that this would be way too much work, but if this was me, I'd be like, right, every session I have a 5-minute set, and I would just start it and real time me for at least 1 minute, and I go, and now enthralling performance.
You know what my 5-minute joke is though?
What?
Do you know the cheeky monkey joke?
No, but I tell you what, why don't you tell me afterwards? And then I can
tell you it now, because I'm not going to waste everyone's 5 minutes. But I kind of want to do it because it's one of the best jokes.
What we'll do, we'll keep recording, right? And then you tell me at the end. I'll cut it out, and you just get my reaction at the end of the episode. How's that?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Oh,
okay.
The groan.
I can't wait.
Cheeky monkey joke is the best darn joke ever.
You've built this up now, and our listeners will be very cross when I cut it out in the final episode. Level 6 is Mantle of Majesty. You gain the ability to cloak yourself in the fey magic that makes others want to serve you. As a bonus action, you cast Command without expending a spell slot, and you take on the appearance of unearthly beauty. So even more beautiful than you already have been. You get the wondrous appearance, incredible performance, and now you're like, you're just like, oh, who is that mythical creature? You have this for 1 minute until you concentrate, or until your concentration ends. During that time, you can cast Command as a bonus action on each of your turns without expending a spell slot. Any creature charmed by you, so if you had that wondrous performance from before, automatically fails its saving throw against command. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again to the end of the long rest. So you could really control things on the battlefield if you've got people set up and you're like, oh, could you just bar the door for me, darling? That'd be amazing, or flee, grovel. Command I know is always one word, but
it's like one word, isn't it? Yeah,
I need to find a good list of like what things you can say in combat other than grovel or dance. It's just my one. It's like dance.
Yeah, dance is always a good one. Jump,
run, flee.
Yeah, flee. Yeah, exactly.
Fight.
Think.
Ooh, think. That's a good one.
Yeah. Discombobulate.
And they go.
Sorry, I thought of stupid children's ones like fart. It made me laugh. Farts. Sorry, I
think it's great.
Oh, that's a great one. Because someone for 6-7 trying to fart.
Well, that's the thing, like, it's their whole turn. So it totally makes sense if they're trying to do these things and then they're like, I can't. And then at the other turn, I go, why was I trying to fart?
I'm such a child that makes me laugh so much. Anyway.
Level 14 is unbreakable.
Just lifting their leg. Right.
Tell you what, I'll put this in as my reaction to the cheeky monkey joke. How's that?
Better, yeah. Anyway, Unbreakable Majesty's what?
Unbreakable Majesty is at level 14. Your appearance permanently gains an otherworldly aspect that makes you even more lovely and fierce.
Jesus
in addition,
Christ, you're so lovely.
You're just perfect.
Radiant, yeah.
As a bonus action, you can assume a magically majestic presence for 1 minute until you're incapacitated. For the duration, whenever a creature tries to attack you...
Or until you're incapacitated, not until you are incapacitated.
Until you are.
The or is quite important.
Sorry, yes, or until you're incapacitated. Yeah. For the duration, whenever a creature tries to attack you for the first time on a turn, the attacker must make a charisma saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it can't attack you this turn and must choose another target in its attack, or the attack is wasted. Brilliant. If there is a successful save, it does attack you this turn, but then has disadvantage on the saving throw it makes against your spells on your next turn. And then by the time level 14, you can't do it again until you've done a short or long rest. I mean, that's great, because often you have spells that can make you like, Sanctuary and all that sort of thing, where people would like have to do a wisdom saving throw and then lose the attack or attack somebody else, etc.
Ironically, again, better than the 20th level one.
I think it's quite a cool cast. It's, again, compared to Law, which has really nothing to do with it.
This is very much about glamour.
We need to talk about your appearance.
Yeah.
You're like, gorgeous, darling, gorgeous.
Exactly. Then you get College of Swords then. So this is the other, as we said, like fighty one. Mm-hmm. So they are also called blades, and they entertain through daring feats of weapon prowess. Blades perform stunts such as sword swallowing, knife throwing, and juggling, and mock combat. So these are more your stage combat, stage level 4.
Yeah.
They use their weapons to entertain. They are also highly trained and skilled warriors in their own right. Thinking of, like circus performers, those sort of classic sort of Cirque du Soleil style things. Their talent with weapons inspires many blades to lead double lives. One blade might use a circus troupe as cover for nefarious deeds such as assassination, robbery, and blackmail. What? Other blades strike at the wicked, bringing justice to bear against the cruel and powerful. Most troops are happy to accept a blade's talent for the excitement it adds to a performance, but few entertainers fully trust a blade within their ranks. Mm-hmm. Blades who abandon their lives as entertainers have often run into trouble that makes maintaining their secret activities impossible. A blade caught stealing or engaging in vigilante justice is too great a liability for most troops. With their weapon skill and magic, these blades either take up work as enforcers for thieves' guilds or strike out on their own as adventurers.
Ooh, cool. I love the vigilante angle. Yeah. But I just can't. Now all I imagine is
Robin.
I was going to say Batman, but yeah, Robin is the archetype here, right? That's
Robin
what
is the guy who's in the circus.
Yes, he is. Of course, the acrobatic family.
Yeah. In the Batman and Robin movie. I don't know if that's through all the Batmans, but in the Batman and Robin movie.
You know what? We're not a comic book podcast, so I'm going to say yes, it is.
In the Batman and Robin movie, there's that whole scene where you see the parents falling from the wire, and
then there's blood on the sand, and
yes.
So level 3, you get bonus proficiencies again, medium armor, and scimitar, interestingly enough. Yeah. And if you're proficient with a simple or martial melee weapon, you can use it as a spell casting focus for your bard spells. Now, I have a real question for you, Hamilton. I know this sounds really stupid. Have you ever cared about spell casting focused?
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And also, I've seen a bit of the UA stuff coming up, and I'm like, it seems to be more and more prevalent that you'd have to have some sort of spell casting focus.
I think if you use it, then you can lose it, and then that becomes a thing as a DM to manipulate. So
it's a flavor thing rather than a mechanic thing.
Yeah, but I think if you have to use a spellcasting focus, if you then you get captured,
I guess
then they take it away from you. You can't cast spells.
I've never had a DM rule it like that. I mean, to be fair, I've never played a magical character for very, very long. It feels like you have to be really on it as a DM to be like, I'm taking away your spell focus. You can't cast any spells.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. But like, I'm just a bit like...
It's a good one, like with clerics as well, like, because you could be like, it breaks because you've lost favor with your god. It can be like a very thematic device as well.
Yeah,
Paladins
that's true.
as well, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was just a bit of an odd one, to be honest with you. But
well, things are odd. You get fighting style then at 3rd level as well, which is I think makes sense. It's something that a lot of people get. It's dueling or 2-weapon fighting. I mean, whenever I've played anything that has the option, I normally go for 2-weapon fighting.
I was going to say 2-weapon fighting is always the one I would go for. But I kind of wish there was a few more options, because I know with fighting style anyway, you get like, I think it's defense or shield or something like that. You have at least 4, and you've only got
weapon
2
master
here.
as well, don't you get?
Yeah, something like that. Again, we haven't done fighters yet.
Wait, I can find out. You can get it. Ranger has it. Archery, defense, dueling, 2-weapon fighting. So you get defense, which is you gain +1 bonus if you're wearing armor, and archery you gain +2 bonus to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons. So yeah, it could give you that, because you might have throwing knives or something like that. Yeah,
throwing knives, or I don't know, like if you really wanted to get into having a bow or something, like as a bowstring, maybe it's, I don't know. It's just it just feels like, why limit it to those 2?
Because it's wizards and they're mean. That's what I'm realizing. They're just like, if we can give you 5, we'll give you 1,
and you have to make the choice, and you'll be glad for it.
Yeah, is that okay?
And then level 3. So I know this one, this College of Swords, because our Bard in our campaign took it, because Blade Flourish is clutch, I would say. So you learn to perform impressive displays of martial prowess and speed. Whenever you take the attack action on your turn, your walking speed increases by 10 until the end of the turn. Always good. And if a weapon attack that you make as part of this action hits a creature, you can use one of the following Blade Flourish options of your choice. You can only use one option per turn. Very straightforward. So you have Defensive Flourish, where you expend one of your bardic inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to a target you hit. The damage is equal to what you've rolled on the bardic die. You can also add that number rolled to your AC until the start of your next turn. So not only are you like doing a massive hit, but then they try and hit you back. You're like, I rolled an 8 on my D8.
You just imagine it's like, and then you just enter into a defensive style. Like,
come at me, essentially.
Come at me, you know.
Absolutely. When you've already got an AC of like 19, you're like, yep, 27 now, just through that Blade Flourish for 1 turn. It's like, whoa, pretty good. Or
even if you've got a D12 and you roll a 12, it'd be like, you ain't hitting me.
There's also Slashing Flourish, so you can expend the bardic inspiration to deal extra damage to a target you hit and to any other creature of your choice you see within 5 feet of you. Yep, love that. Gotta love range attacks like that. And then the final one, you can use Mobile Flourish. Same thing, expend the use of your bardic inspiration to cause extra damage to the target. The damage is equal to the number. You can also push the target 5 feet away from you, plus a number of feet equal to the number you rolled on the dice. I think that's a bit iffy myself, because what if it's like only just an extra 2 feet? It's a bit finicky on that point. But then you can immediately use your reaction to move up to your walking speed to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target. I think the only thing I'd change about that is that the number on it as *5. It's like for every 5 feet, so that you could properly push them away.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, like proper, like like Hadouken, you know, like whoop.
Well, just like in the Matrix when he does the push, and he goes, or like the ancient one.
From Doctor Strange, absolutely. Yeah. These 3 cover any other flourish. I'm sure there'll be other flourishes as well, but the fact is that you always add on some damage to the target, and then either you get defense, you either move away, or you attack another person. It's all good stuff. I really like those flourishes. Level 6, extra attack. Gotta love it.
And Master's Flourish at 14th means you just don't have to use your bardic inspiration. You just get to use a D6, which means that makes that every attack. Which means every attack you're doing one of those blade flourishes, which is actually really cool and should be possible. I
think it's very cool, but obviously there's I could either just do a D6, or I could spend the bardic inspiration to do a D12.
Yeah, but it means you just, once you've run out of your bardic
you can still do it.
You can be doing it.
Absolutely.
And you just be like adding a D6 of AC to yourself.
You're just unrelenting on your turns. Like,
so cool.
Yeah, I really like it. I like this one and the College of Valor, because I'm not particularly a magic versed person anyway, so I just like the idea that I can still hit something, and this, really, really cool.
Surprise, surprise, barbarian over here wants to hit things.
final Xanathar's one. I think we were talking about it last time off podcast. Was like, I think this is both our favourite college classes, the College of Whispers.
Oh, it's actually not.
Is it not?
Mine is definitely. I think Spirits is definitely mine.
Your Spirits. Okay, so I definitely think mine is this one.
But I do love this one, but I think Spirits just wins out just for its creepiness.
I think it's very cool, the Spirits one, and we'll come to that one in a second. But yes, College of Whispers. I've written down here Shadow Stealer. So I'm just like, that's such a cool thing.
It's so cool.
So most folk are happy to welcome a bard into their midst, and the College of Whispers use this to their advantage. They appear like other bards, sharing news, singing songs, and telling tales to their audiences. Happy. The College of Whispers teaches the students that they are wolves amongst sheep. They use their knowledge and magic to uncover secrets and turn them against others through extortion and threats. Many bards hate the College of Whispers, viewing it as a parasite that uses a bard's reputation to acquire wealth and power. And for this reason, the members of this college rarely reveal their true natures. They typically claim to follow another college, or actually keep their true calling secret to infiltrate and exploit royal courts and other settings of power.
So cool. It is cool.
So cool.
It is really cool. It is really cool. So psychic blades at 3rd level. So you gain the ability to make your weapon attacks magically toxic to a creature's mind. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend a bardic inspiration to get 2d6 psychic damage, pays to be evil, right? To that target. You can do so only once per round on your turn. The psychic damage increases when you reach certain levels of class from 3d6 at 5th, 5d6 at 10th. And 8d6 at 15.
It pays to be evil, as you rightly said.
It does pay to be evil. It really does.
8d6 at you would just be psychic blades all the time.
You would. Jesus Christ.
So good. Oh, I love it.
That's on top of your weapon attack.
Also at level 3, you have words of terror. You learn to infuse innocent-seeming words into an insidious magic. Yeah, I've got to do little fingers to do it. Do my little fingers. That it can inspire terror. If you speak to a humanoid alone for at least 1 minute, you can attempt to seed paranoia into its mind. At the end of the conversation, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or be frightened of you or another creature of your choice. Target is frightened this way for an hour unless it's attacked or damaged, or until it witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. If it succeeds on the saving throw, again, like the previous glamour one, there's no hint of you trying to frighten it.
Worm tongue. Fucking worm tongue.
Again, I would love this to be role played out, and you just be, because you're all nice and smiles and be like, it'd be such a shame. Such a shame if something was to happen to little Clopsy, all that sort of. The only thing is, why is it a wisdom saving throw and not a charisma saving throw? Is the only thing I was thinking, because your charisma is going to be the biggest.
No, but they've got to make a wisdom saving throw against your charisma spell DC.
Oh, that's it. I'm an idiot. That makes more sense.
You're testing their wisdom to overcome your.
That's more sense. Sorry, yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, yes. I was like, what if my wisdom's really not great?
The Mantle of Whispers, though.
Or level 6, yeah.
Adopt a human's persona. When a humanoid dies within 30 feet of you, you can magically capture its shadow using your reaction. You retain the shadow until you use it, or you finish a long rest. You can use the shadow as an action. When you do so, it vanishes, magically transforming into a disguise that appears upon you. You now look like the dead person, but healthy and alive. This disguise lasts for 1 hour or until you end it as a bonus action. While you're in the disguise, you can gain access to all the information the humanoid would freely share with a casual acquaintance. Such information includes general details on its background and personal life, but doesn't include secrets. The information is enough that you can pass it off as the person by drawing on its memories. Another creature can see through this by on a wisdom saving throw against your charisma check, but you gain +5 bonuses to your check.
Whoa.
Once you capture shadow with this feature, you can't capture another one until you finish a short long rest. This is fucking cool.
Oh, it's brutal though.
But you're infiltrating a castle. I want a fucking College of Whispers bard with me, because it's just like
you're Arya Stark, essentially, the person with many faces, and just like
yeah.
I love it. And yeah, that idea of having you have various information. Again, I'd get the person to role play that. And anything that they say, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Obviously there'll be some bits where I could maybe give some pointers or something like that, but I'll be like, yeah. And how's Susan? And there's, Susan's okay.
I would say a good 20th level sort of ability to add to this would be you can maintain these shadows forever. Once you're at level 20, so you could sort of store
up to 3 or 5
or something. Exactly. It would be such a cool little thing, because it's it doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's a little thing you could just note down. You've got you could always be the guard in the thing, and that might become no use after a while. But some things you could just always have these mantles that you could put on at some point, which I think would be really cool.
Especially if you're doing something like this in, say, Planescape, where there's factions, or Ravnica, where there's guilds, and you're like, well, I'll put on my guild face today. I'll do this, I'll do, and be able to infiltrate. Oh, I love it. It's so grim.
Be so good in Planescape. You like pass yourself off as a devil and head out into like have negotiations with others, see what the Blood War's doing on that side, and then sell the secrets to the demon side.
Like we've now gone so far away from like the tropey, like, oh, I'm a bard, I'm going to play lots of music. Like this person is information. They are the spider in Game of Thrones. You know, it's just, oh, love it. And then finally, at level 14, you gain the ability to weave dark magic into your words and tap into a creature's darkest sphere. This is a shadow lore. As an action, you magically whisper a phrase that only one creature of your choice within 30 feet can hear. They must make a wisdom saving throw. They automatically succeed if they don't share a language for you. Fine. On a successful saving throw, your whisper sounds like unintelligible mumbling and has no effect. That's just me when I speak to anyone at work, I've got to be honest.
Hello.
But on a failed saving throw, the creature is charmed by you for the next 8 hours, or until you and your allies attack it, damage it, or force it to make a saving throw. It interprets the whispers as a description of its most mortifying secret. You gain no knowledge of what the secret is, but the target is convinced that you know it. It obeys your commands for fear that you will reveal its secret. It won't risk its life for you or fight for you, unless it was already inclined to do so, but it grants you favors and gifts that it would offer a close friends. When the effect ends, the creature has no understanding of why it held you in such fear.
Badass.
This is the thing, you can have so much fun with just making up, like, as the DM, like, what that secret is. And then obviously the player never really knowing what it is, but just going along with it, having those role play moments.
Sort of like hinting towards it as well. Yeah, exactly.
So you promise you won't show the portraits. No, I won't show them to anyone. You know,
flashback. Paint me like your French ladies, Jack.
Pretty much. But I really like this one. It feels, like I said, all the Xanathars ones, they feel like really well written, really tight in terms of like what their inspiration is. And I feel certainly both the swords, all of the glamour swords and whispers, all their features feel very tied to their theme. So I really would recommend those ones out.
So now it's Tasha's, which I'm assuming there's creation.
It's creation and eloquence, which I didn't know if you knew this, but eloquence was in Mythic Odysseys of Theros and then got put back in with Tasha's.
I know that. Okay. Creation, is all about believing the cosmos is a work of art, the creation of the first dragons and gods. That creative work included harmonies that continue to resound through existence today, a power known as the Song of Creation. That's what it kind of reminds of. Sorry.
Where's my pizza?
The bards of College of Creation draw on that primeval song through dance, music, and poetry, and the teachers share this lesson. Before the sun and the moon, there was the song, and its music awoke the first dawn. Its melodies so delighted the stones and trees that some of them gained a voice of their own. And now they sing too. Learn the song, students, and you too can teach the mountains to sing and dance. Dwarves and gnomes are often encouraged their bards to become students of the Song of Creation, and among Dragonborn, the Song of Creation is revered, for legends portray Bahamut and Tiamat, the greatest of dragons, as two of the song's first singers.
Oh, I love that. What a great little bio. I think that's really awesome.
Mote of potential there at 3rd level, which just makes me have flashbacks to Destiny, if anyone has played Destiny, because it's all about motes. So whenever you give a creature a bardic inspiration die, you can utter a note from the Song Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits within 5 feet of that creature. Hey! What's up? Listen. The mote is intangible and invulnerable, and it lasts until the bardic inspiration die is lost. The mote looks like a musical note, a star, a flower, another symbol of art or life that you choose.
Awesome.
Creature uses this bardic inspiration. The mote provides an additional effect based on whether the dice. So the options are ability check when the creature rolls. Added to the ability check, the creature can roll the bardic inspiration die again and choose which roll to use.
Ooh.
And that does a little bit of popping and colouring and sparking. Attack roll, after it rolls it, it can add to the attack roll against target. The mote thunderously shatters. The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed on a con throw or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled. So you gain a little bit of like AoE.
A bit more damage, yeah.
And then saving throw immediately after the creature rolls. Added to save throw, the mote vanishes and the sound of soft music causing the creature to gain temporary hit points equal to the number rolled. So like, it's much better.
It's nice. It's all little nice things, isn't it? And I like, again, it's just using that bardic inspiration, the rolling something, like adding something to it. And again, I know past Fiona would say that, oh, that's a lot of things to add up from. But I think, all it is that every other level or whatever there is when you go up, it's like, oh, it's a D12 now. Oh, I could get D12 temporary hit points, or I could add, or I could do more damage.
A bit of AoE. I'm being crowded by a few like sort of thrall-like characters, sort of low-level characters.
Let's get rid of them. Absolutely.
Performance of creation then.
Mm-hmm.
Another third one. Oh, you create one non-magical item of your choice in an occupied space within 10 feet of you. I think this is kind of cool because it must appear on a surface or in a liquid that can support it. The GP value can't be more than 20 times your bard level, and it must be medium or smaller. The item glimmers softly and creature can faintly hear music when touching it. The created item disappears after a number of hours after equal to proficiency bonus. But so once you create the item, you can't do it again unless you expend a spell of slot of second level or higher to do it. Now, the only thing I could think, and you could get large and huge, is this just to con people? I don't quite know why.
I was going to say, because it's non-magical, obviously.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then, because that was the thing. And then later on, we'll get into it, animating performance. All to do with us, we're creating something that eventually disappears. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it. Again, it's tying into that recreation stuff.
Is it just could it give you just some cash? You're like, well, I can make 20 times my spells level. I'm third, so I can get 60 GP to buy something with and then walk away.
Because then it doesn't, because then there's no something like, oh, someone looks through it and then they're like, oh yeah, it feels like it's a con thing. I'd say that's what it feels like to me. But I'm sure there's other examples like, oh, I've used it to create, I don't know, shelter for a couple of hours or this
ladder to get up.
Rope or something. Yeah,
I guess it's to make things that you're like, oh, I didn't bring a torch.
Yeah, I feel like after the moat, I think the moat of potential is such a really cool thing. And then the rest of this class, I will say, I've written down a bit rubbish, to be honest, because I really like the idea. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But it's like, I've made this bookshelf with my own hands. I don't know. I'm sure there's other things to it, but instantly I was like, it must be used for conning people.
That's all I could think of.
But then that doesn't really feel in keeping with what creation is.
That's what I mean. That's why I felt like you should just be able to make it and it doesn't vanish, because why? You've created it. Like, just all you're going to gain is 60 GP of non-magical item at third level, and I don't know.
Wait, does it disappear? Sorry. Yes, it does. Yeah. You can only have one item created at a time, and then if you get another item, it disappears. So it doesn't. So it disappears eventually, but you can always.
The item disappears after a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus.
You're right. Yeah.
I would just say it stays. Like, what are you gaining?
Yeah, exactly.
I would do that, but not allow you to use a spell slot to do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But then you limit the amount, and I'd say that once you created it doesn't ever disappear, even if you cast it again, because you're like, what are you gonna? I mean, if someone's gonna break the game with it, they're not really gonna break it by just. You're basically rosebudding the game if you want, like 60 GP, 60 GP, 60 GP, but. It's not going to happen that often.
Maybe just you and I aren't thinking outside the box enough.
Maybe not enough.
I'm sure people have really creative ideas, and we're just there going, it's to con people, to sell things.
I don't know. What are you going to make?
But then you have level 6 animating performance, which I think would add on top of this idea that you can animate a large or smaller non-magical item within 30 feet of you that isn't being worn or carried. It uses this dancing item stat block, which is in the notes.
Be guest. That's
what it is, right? You go magical wardrobe attack. It's using the same sort of rules as the steel defender in the artificer, and if you use your bardic inspiration feature, you can command the item as part of the same bonus action as you use the bardic inspiration. Okay. I think my issue is that it gets more hit points the higher you're up, but then any action. So it's got when it does do a slam attack, force and power slam attack, it's only 1d10 plus your proficiency, but then it won't scale up at all. So if you did like, I'm going to have a huge I don't know, bunk bed that comes to life and it's slamming down on you, you think it would do a little bit more damage than, say, I don't know,
candelabra. Yeah, but that burns.
Yeah, it would be nice to just flavor it a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, you could large or smaller contract. I mean, like, large is pretty big. You want it to be like an iron golem.
Yeah. And then finally, for this one, you have level 14 creative crescendo. When you use the performance of creation feature, you can create more than one item at once, equal to your charisma modifier, and then that's it. You just create more of these things. It's like, no, okay.
I know, but I don't get it.
One of these items is the maximum size you can create. The rest must be small or tiny. So you can't even have 2 big wardrobes. You can only have 1 big wardrobe.
But you're no longer limited by GP value when creating items. So, is Goose with duck money?
Yeah.
Buying a house.
Yeah, so you have like a huge house, and then everything inside it is like teeny tiny, like small bed, small couch.
No. You Scrooge McDuck the money, buy the house,
right.
and then...
I see.
But then it does obviously run out, but you could just use that every day to give them Scrooge McDuck money.
We must have to look on Reddit or something. There must be some decent examples of what people have used for this, because it just feels like, I'm sure there's something there that maybe you and I are missing, but yeah, I was a bit like, after the moat thing, I'm like, I don't really care about the other features myself personally, but hey ho.
Oh, okay. So this is the College of Eloquence, which really focuses on the oratory skills. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So it should be spoken. Persuasion is regarded as a high art and a well-reasoned, well-spoken argument. I'm trying to do the R's, the wrong.
Yes.
Often proves most persuasive than facts. These bards wield a blend. Sorry,
you've gone into Dracula mode there.
Dracula. These bards wield a blend of logic and theatrical wordplay, winning over skeptics and detractors with logical arguments and plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of audiences. I don't know if anyone understood what I said then. It is basically the oratory arts. You get a silver tongue at 3rd level. Mm-hmm. Master of saying the right thing at the right time. When you make a charisma, persuasion, or charisma deception check, you can treat a D20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Always good.
A little bit of expertise.
Yeah, level 3 as well. Nice.
And then unsettling words. You can spin words laced with magic that unsettle a creature and cause it to doubt itself as a bonus action, like any good actor would do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a great performance. For you, as a bonus action, you can expend one of your bardic inspiration and choose one creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll the bardic inspiration die. Creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes for the start of your next turn.
Nice. It's one of those ones where, again, if you know someone's about to do like a big saving throw, like AoE attack, you can just get in there quickly and just do it. That's the thing. I think I can imagine this being working really well with other spellcasters. You're like, oh, good luck with this one. So then we have level 6, unfailing inspiration. Your inspiring words are just so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. So whenever a creature adds one of your bardic inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can still keep the bardic inspiration die. Nice.
That is actually really good.
At level 6 as well. I think that's great. And I think the only thing I've always found is I always forget that I have inspiration, but then at least you have it. This means you never lose it.
Yeah.
If you fail, if you're like, oh, damn, I only rolled a 1. That's all right. Take it back.
Does that mean it is 10 minutes, and if combat, it's never going to go on for that long, is it? So yeah, no, it's...
Well, it depends on how how you run combat. If you're like me, like you'll be there for a long time.
No, it's not 10 minutes in real time. It's 10 minutes in combat time.
Much longer.
You've gone over 100 rounds of combat. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it feels like it for sure.
Amazing.
Universal speech. You've gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, you can choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you to a number equal up to your charisma modifier. They can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. But once you've used this feature, you can't use it again until you do a long rest or expend a spell slot to do so. Again, it fits into the this idea of, obviously, like, again, this originally came from Mythic Odysseys of Theros, so that idea of like telling stories in the amphitheater, all that sort of thing, and maybe just communicating messages to maybe if you've got centaurs or minotaurs or anything like that, and you're just trying to just communicate to them and not trying to, if they don't have common in their stat, but I can't remember if they do now. But it just, again, cool, flavoursome stuff. I think that's good. It's paired with the unfailing inspiration. You see, so you're not done out of a level 6 thing. And then finally, you have infectious inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your eloquence can now spread to someone else. This is really cool. So when you add, when a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your bardic inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and it succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet. Give it a bardic inspiration die without expending any of your bardic inspiration uses.
Really good.
Great. Love that. Absolutely love that. And you can use this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, which should be, at this point, really big. You should be having this all the time. And then regain the expended uses when you finish a long rest. I think I like this one overall. I think it's really cool.
No, I like that one. I think it's a fun one and a lot of good mechanical ideas there that actually, and there's a lot there, to be honest. There's quite a few things you gain. So, no, I like that a lot.
Do you want to go over your favourite college then?
College of Spirits. Bards of the College of Spirits seek tales with inherent power, be they legends, histories, or fictions, and bring their subjects to life using occult trappings. These bards conjure spiritual embodiments of powerful forces to change the world once more. Such spirits are capricious, though, and what bard summons isn't always entirely under their control. Sorry,
I love that. I need you to do Mork Mork like that now. That's
guiding whispers. As we gain the third level, you reach out to the spirits and guide you and others. You learn the guidance cantrip, which doesn't count against the number of bard cantrips. You know, for you, it has a range of 60 feet when you cast it. It's a great spell. It's really a great
spell. I think it's a great spell. It depends on if the UA will change it at all. I have a feeling it will change it. But yeah, I love it. That the fact it's 60 feet as well. So you instantly can just like guidance when you're over the side of the battlefield.
Yeah, I think D4 though, it's just like additional, and it's a cantrip. You just guidance. I was just spamming guidance when I had this, and it is great because it's just D4 and everything. Guidance everywhere. Spiritual focus at third level. Employ tools that aid you in channeling spirits, be they historical figures or fictional archetypes. You can use the following objects as spellcasting focus for your bard spells: a candle, a crystal ball, a skull, a spirit board, and a tarot deck. Starting at 6th level, when you cast a bard spell that deals damage or restores hit points through this focus, roll a d6 and you gain a bonus to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell equal to the number rolled, which I think is actually really cool.
Yeah, the second part of that is really cool. Like, again, we were just talking about spell focuses before. I was like, okay, but like, I was like, okay, this makes a little bit of sense.
But now it actually makes it beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I really like that. I get that idea of like, if it's 1 damage or 1 healing, get that extra.
But it feels very thematic to then have one there because it's like, you know, your Mystic Meg with your crystal ball, or your Hamlet with your skull, or your with your little tarot deck, you know, and or just a candle. I just like the idea of just like walking around. As someone who plays some 40k, there's a load of candles. I love a good candle. And there's these people called the Corridor who have little rats that have candles on their heads. They're really sweet. But like you can imagine that sort of thing, little candle as it just melts in their hand. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Oh, a heal for you.
Heal you.
Oh, take the wax.
Healing, melting wax. It burns as the healing power.
The burn helps in some way.
Cauterizing the wound. So do you want to talk about the next one?
I will talk about this. Yeah, I think this is the coolest feature of this college. So the level 3 again, Tales from Beyond. You reach out to the spirits who tell their tales through you. While you're holding your spiritual focus, you can use a bonus action to expend one of your bardic inspirations and roll on the spirit tales table using your bardic inspiration die to determine the tale on the spirits direct you to tell. You retain this tale in mind until you bestow the tale's effect when you finish a short or long rest. You can use an action to choose one creature you see within 30 feet of you, and that could also be you, to be the target of the tale's effect. Once you do so, you cannot bestow the tale's effect again until you roll it again. You can only retain one of these tales in your mind at one time. Well, unless you're us, which will have multiple tales that we can easily just shout out. And rolling on the spirit tales table immediately ends the effect of the previous tale. But if the tale requires a saving throw, the DC equals your spell save DC. And so, you have up to 12 tales here. Obviously, again, it depends on your bardic die you're rolling it. And this is what I really love. This is, again,
every single one of them is absolutely banging.
All these tales are like, tale of the clever animal. The next 10 minutes, whenever the target makes an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, they can roll an extra die immediately after rolling the d20 and add that extra die's number to the check. It's the same type as your bardic inspiration die. So great, a little bit more boost and stuff like that. And I just like how I think it encourages you. I would get it as like you tell the tale, like when you roll this thing, like what is the tale that's being told to you, and then how does that affect combat? Do the anime monologue bit as we're playing, and then do that tale.
Yeah, you need to go get yourself like a tale for each of these. Like there once was a stoat who figured out a way to get out of a hole that was being attacked by what captures stoats. Foxes? A fox? I don't know. That's the clever, and you have to come up with some. I haven't got a story about a stoat and a fox.
I was going to say, what's your stoat story?
If you've not got a stoat story, you're from the north, aren't there stoats all up north?
You say, who knows? Who knows? Write in, listeners.
Write in, listeners. Our stoats a northern thing.
But yeah, I would like it. I wish there was more class features. So, like, if we go back to that College of Law one, I wish that again, if you had a story that was law related, and that would be like on certain checks, so like Arcana checks or history checks or survival.
Oh, I'm just wondering if you could all find like really. I was just thinking because I've seen like Tale of the Runaway, and I was thinking of the Del Rey song. oh my runaway, run, 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 run away. You know, like that song. You could like take some of the lyrics of that, but say it in a really creepy way.
Oh,
do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, still make it musical in some way, but make it very creepy as you're telling it. And the moral of this tale is yes. And then another level 6 feature for this one, Spirit Session. The spirits provide you with supernatural insights. You can conduct an hour-long ritual channeling spirits, which can be done during a short or long rest using your spiritual focus. You can conduct the ritual with a number of willing creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, including yourself. And at the end, you temporarily learn one spell of your choice from any class. So again, getting that magic spell just there, along with your magical secrets. The spell you choose must be of a level equal to the number of creatures that conduct the ritual or less. It must be of a level you can cast, and it must be of a school of divination or necromancy. The chosen spell counts as a bardic spell for you, but doesn't count against your number of bardic spells you know. So that's a nice way of just getting another little spell on top of that. But yeah, divination or necromancy. Like I like that flavoursome part of it.
No, I think that's really cool. And I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
I want to see, because I just love the idea. I think wish is a divination spell, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think I know that it's kind of like, oh, it's the big one. But the idea that you could like very thematically be like, so astral projection is necromancy, foresight, divination, 9th level spells. I'm just looking at 9th level ones. Other ones, true resurrection is necromancy. Oh, wish is conjuration, so you don't get that. But the true resurrection is like, I'm going to get 9 people together. You could be really like, I've got all my 9 people. Now we're going to raise them from the dead. And it's just like, no, we're not here. We want a divination. No, too late.
Too late. I'm the one that chooses it.
I get to choose it.
So the fact that you'd be like, oh, we need one more. Do you think you could bring your friend Samantha?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes. This is going to be a fun little seance.
Halfway through, knock, knock, knock. Is this the Brotherhood of the brother? No. This is the Brotherhood of Orderly People. No, this is the People's Brotherhood of Orderliness.
Yes. Oh,
damn it!
They meet down the road. Yeah, absolutely.
We have this on a Wednesday. They have the whole on a Thursday.
I would recommend, listeners, if you've not read Guards by Terry Pratchett, that's where you get it from.
You'll get the rest. You get the reference.
Finally, for the College of Spirits, we have level 14, Mystical Connection. You have the ability to nudge the spirits of the tale of beyond towards certain tales. So you can now roll twice on the table and choose which of the two effects to bestow. If you roll the same number on both dice, you can ignore the number and choose whichever one. Okay.
It's not good enough.
For this, you can do 2. Like you just get the 2 tails and you have them. Rather than like, you choose.
I just think when you've just given you Spirit Session, which is the most coolest thing that I think should just be in every game, as like, I just think that ability to just like conduct ritual with other people to then gain, because as I said, I've talked before about the Book of Vile Darkness, which I think we should probably look at, because but there's some terrible things in it, so we should probably like look.
I've got the PDF somewhere, so we can definitely do a first impressions and go
I think, there's a few areas where you got to be like, the whole sacrifice thing that's in it is like gives you some real things, but it allows you to achieve other spells through ritual, and I think like it's very thematic, and I think I'm not saying that everyone needs to be doing these things, but I think it's kind of I think like the whole idea of like, why can't a cleric use this ability to help gain these abilities, like to provide. I think it's a much better than like, I can ritually cast everything. Like actually having to like gamify it a little bit is kind of more fun. Is kind of what I was getting at.
So those are all the official, she says in quotation marks, all the Wizards of the Coast ones. But there is one more, which do you want to introduce?
We did mention it last week. We did the thing, but it is the College of Tragedy. Not all grand stories conclude in triumph and victory. Many tales end with death and despair. And bards of the College of Tragedy know that sorrow and pathos are emotions just as potent as joy and delight. These bards specialize in the power of tragic storytelling, weaving words and spells together to dramatic and devastating effects. So, it's a little bit sad.
It's a little bit sad, but it's nice because all the other ones, either they're spooky horror or upbeat or a bit smug. This one is like pure tragedy from Matt Mercer from his Critical Role campaign.
And I think this is great because it's a real, like, it's an absolute tradition of theatre. Tragedy is like, it's a classic, and you just think, so you have poetry and misery. When you join the College of Tragedy at 3rd level, you learn to harness the beauty in failure, finding inspiration in even the direst twists of fate. Whenever you or an ally within 30 feet of you rolls a 1 on a d20 for an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to soliloquize and regain 1 expended use of your bardic inspiration thing.
Nice. So you don't get to change what's on the dice. You're like, oh, well, woe is this? And then you say, mechanically, I get that back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your suffering was noted.
I feed off your suffering.
I like that, though. I think that's quite funny.
Then sorrowful fate, which is you exploit a foe's peril to instill deep feelings of sorrow and doom. You or an ally you can see forces a creature to make a saving throw. You can expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration to change the type of saving throw to a charisma save instead. Right. If the target fails to save, roll a bardic inspiration die. The target will then take psychic damage equal to the result. It is plagued with regret. Sorry. If the target is reduced to 0 hit points during this time and can speak, they are magically compelled to utter darkly poetic final words before succumbing to their injuries, which is the no regret. Let's go to, or just like, alas, poor Yorick.
Well, I was thinking, again, because we've been watching a lot of Demon Slayer recently for an upcoming thing, that all those demons, when they die...
Yes, they have to have a soliloquy.
They talk about themselves for bloody ages, but it's...
Oh, for God, they do, yeah.
Again, it feels very sort of anime, that sort of thing, like, I will... but then very sorrowful and emotional with some of those flashbacks. So, yeah, I love that. I think it's very cool.
I think just anyone who dies to your blade as a college tragedy has to do the darkly poetic final words.
I mean, it's a lot of work on the DM, perhaps, but maybe I would hand over the reins to the players instead to play it, perhaps. But
that's what I mean. It's on. I think the players should then have them ready.
Yeah.
Tale of Hubris. At 6th level, you learn to weave a magical narrative that draws out the fatal arrogance of your foes. When a creature scores a critical hit against you or an ally within 60 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction and expend 1 of your bardic inspiration die to target the attack creature and evoke the story of their downfall. For 1 minute or until the target suffers a critical hit, any weapon attack against the target scores a critical on a roll of 18 to 20.
Cool. At level 6?
Yeah, it's level 6. And 17 to 20 at 14th level.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Like at level 6.
For 1 minute until it suffers one. So that's 10 rounds chance.
I mean, but it's... I find every time I'm like, I'm going to get a critical hit, and I never do.
But in the final battle, you, Vecna, you do not see the error of your ways. You are so filled with hubris with your eye in your hand. You shall fall to this blade, the blade of my barbarian. And that's when you send that to the barbarian. The barbarian's just fishing for rolls and just does, or your pally, he's going to just do the critical and then ultimate smite.
I just now see Vecna going, having that moment of reflection, going, yes, I am full of hubris, and just be like, oh.
Maybe I did go too far.
Whoa.
Whoa, because in this he's played by Keanu Reeves in the 80s.
Yeah.
Dude, why did I take my eye out? I don't know, dude.
I mean, there's no real spoilers for the Planescape adventure, but there is like a lich that you meet really early on, and I just now they're going to be Keanu Reeves in the mortuary.
Can you make them? I think you should have them Keanu Reeves at Bill and Ted, but the Ted is like Vecna's hand talking to him like this.
Oh,
dude, excellent!
Excellent. Level 6, impending misfortune. So at level 6, your words can twist the power of fate to create triumph from the promise of future despair. When you make an attack roll or a saving throw, you gain a +10 to the roll, but the next attack roll or saving throw you make is a -10 penalty. If it's not used, this penalty disappears when you finish a short or long rest. This is great.
You think it's the final hit, like you've got to make this attack.
Yeah, this is your final desperation. You're going, got it. And so you're leaving yourself completely exposed to whatever the next attack is.
I love it though, because it's so cool. It's so like, again, thematic to it, but also just like, this could be the one. This could be the hit. Just do it. This is what they're made for. This is made for final battle stuff, because it's like, here you go, crits on a 17. Here you go, +10 to a roll, Yeah,
it feels more and more epic. And yet that's at level 6 as well, that impending misfortune. And then finally, level 14, we talked about this last time, the Nimbus of Pathos. Again, all these class features are so well titled as well. This really, really evocative. So upon reaching 14th level, you can touch a willing creature as an action and empower it with tragic heroism for 1 minute. The creature is surrounded by mournful music and ghostly singing. It's almost like a swan song, like a final bit in a cowboy film. That's what I was thinking of. It gains the following benefits and drawbacks. So that creature has +4 to AC, advantages on attack rolls and saving throws. When it hits a target with a weapon attack or spell attack, that target takes another 1d10 of radiant damage, and any weapon attack against the creature scores a critical hit on an 18 to 20. But when the effect ends, you drop to 0 hit points and are immediately dying. It's
so good because 10 rounds of combat, just 1 minute, you could just say, do it. Just go for it. It's the final battle.
Yeah, having that impending misfortune and the Nimbus of Pathos together, just...
And the Tale of Hubris all together, because then you're giving people easy crits as well. I just think... Yeah.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool.
And so, so as a support subclass, I think mostly of this, it's so good. Way it buffs, way it sort of debuffs. Yeah, really love this one.
Interesting. Top most recent comment at the bottom of the page.
Mm-hmm.
I love rogues in general, but I always end up playing bards. That's my base. Well,
looking back over all these subclasses and bards, I feel like I definitely should consider bards more, which I know sounds so silly. I never consider them as one that I would like to play, and maybe it's because I've always seen obviously law and valor being the main ones being used because obviously they've been around the longest. But actually, all these other colleges, whispers, swords, even the tragedy one, all of them are really interesting. I just feel like for me, the weakest one is that the creation one a little bit.
Yeah. And
law to an extent, I guess.
Glamour's great.
I love glamour. Glamour's really fun.
I think they're magical rogues. They're the magical rogues, I think. Whilst rogues can be magical because you can do arcane tricks still, but I really do think it's the adaptability, the options that you have available to you, the major use of bonus actions, which I think is always a positive because it's something that gets underused sometimes in other classes. And it's a lot. And there's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 official and 1 unofficial, which is pretty good.
A lot of choice.
It's a lot of choice. I'm trying to think what other... I mean, probably a lot of them do have it, but I'm just thinking Artifice has only got a few.
This feels enough. I think I'd love to say, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure on DM's Guild they'll have their own particular subclasses and stuff. And I think the later ones feel a bit more fleshed out or a bit more, they know what their theme is. But I guess we'll see with the new rulebook and the new UA if any of that stuff's going to change, Like I said, I feel like I would definitely consider multi-classing into bards more, perhaps. Because that's the thing, obviously, all these things you can multi-class in. So maybe you have a rogue. I mean, obviously, maybe not, rogues are great anyway, right? All the way up to level 20. But if you had a bard subclass and a rogue, and all, if you built up all of that, it would be really cool.
I've definitely, through going through this, wanted to play them more. And I think, as you said, the multi-classing, because it's at sixth level, you get a lot of stuff in a lot of these subclasses that, if you think halfway 6 and then 6 on something else that you wanted, or leveling them up to even 3rd level, you get something. So you're sort of going 3-3, 6-6 or something like that. I think you could get some really interesting multi-class in that. I'm not a min-maxer enough to know what the good ones are. I only know about Coffee Lock.
Coffee Lock? What's that one?
It's able to cast as many spells as possible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's a sorcerer and a warlock, isn't it? Yeah, you can combine avoiding long rest with substituting long rest with 8 short rests. The warlock short rest spells generate unlimited number of spell slots as the DM allows it, which they'll be doing.
It makes sense. Coffee, because they constantly
short naps. You're having short naps.
Yeah, you don't need to sleep. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Hamilton, for going through all the colleges.
I need to tell you a joke now, don't I?
You do, but before you do, why don't we quickly sign off? So, what's happening with you, my friend?
What's happening with me? Well, it's coming out. Will we be at MCM? Will we have been at MCM? We don't know.
Yes.
Either way, there's a Demon Slayer thing that we're going to be doing, which I've got a print out that I did at work. That will be available to buy, so you can probably find that in some links to Demon Slayer. If you want to play Demon Slayers in Morkborg, there are 8 different types of Demon Slayer you can choose, along with 8 different Slayer swords that have abilities that give you funky, cool things. Talking about, you can tell there's probably OP is the amount I tell about how this is not OP. I'm giving you all the goods in this. So if you want to play Morkborg and be a badass Demon Slayer, you can find that. Has the Stripes doing more Necromunda. I've got the big books here where I've been writing my gang lore stuff on the
lots of notes.
House of Blades, of all things. We're talking about Blades earlier.
Blades.
So that's the Escher Gang. So I've been writing that, and that should be coming out at some point. And that's it, I guess.
Yeah, because we'll be very busy at MCM. Also, as always, we say every time, but come say hello to us. We'll be in the tabletop zone. Look out! We'll be on our table with Backwater Bastards. Look at the yellow tablecloth. Won't be hard to miss.
Friday night we'll be doing Dragon's Duel. Saturday daytime we'll be doing the Mort Borg thing, and Saturday evening you're doing Rising TTRPGs. Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up with a decent costume that can be both Mort Borg and also, when you have Mort Borg in the afternoon, but you have sexy battle wizards in the evening, and make sure I've got a good costume that covers both of them, because I don't want to be taking stuff there. But looking forward to that.
But who are you? What are you? Oh. When are you? Ooh. Why are you? And where are you?
Right. Who am I? My name is Fiona. What am I? I'm a human being that's just doing their best that they can. When am I? Well, we're recording this early October, hoping that it will come out before MCM. It definitely will. Why am I? God, I need to talk to a therapist about all that sort of thing. But where? I'm so glad you asked. As always, I run the What Am I Rolling podcast, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast. As always, it's going very, very well.
Going very well. Yeah.
It's always going very well. We've got some interviews coming out. We've also got Flabbergasted will have come to an end at this point, so we're probably doing the next one up will be going Rogue 2E. So if you liked your Andor, if you liked going Rogue, and you like very sad things, that's going to come out.
Do you like sad things? Do you like? Are you a College of Tragedy bard?
Yes, there's so much hubris in that game. So that's coming up, so that'll be really good. I'll be doing lots of improv stuff as well. I'm hoping to do some more games in the future, because I'm running out of content. Turns out I've been so busy, I've gone, I need to schedule some more things. You can also check out Solemn Veil. That's on Actual Play UK.
Yes,
that's out, obviously, so go check that out. It'll be on that podcast as well. You know what? I do have content. It's all fine.
Look at me. I've been so busy. I've not got any content. Oh, I've got the busy stuff.
Fiona did some spare content in the back. But it's just all ticking along really nicely. And otherwise, we're just doing DM's book club, and it's all lovely. And we get to talk about bards. So all good.
Awesome.
All right. I think that's everything. So
now, do I get to tell you a joke now?
Oh, yeah. Tell me the joke now. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, fine. Right. Oh, now we've started this now. Now I'm going to forget it, aren't I? Because we've left it too long, but I'll try. Okay, right. Okay.
Right. Cheeky monkey joke.
So, yeah, okay. So.
All right. You probably got me. That was good. Yay.
It's a good joke, right?
I was like, where are we going?
It's my favorite joke.
Well, that was incredible.
There you go.
It's very similar to my blue fruitcake joke, which I will tell you at another point. But until then, if you want to find out what the cheeky monkey joke is, come talk to us at MCM. It was definitely good. But with all that out of the way, thank you so much, people, and we will see you
on the flip side.
Bye, everyone.